Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Indian Kitchen Abroad. I don't make many desserts in this channel because I'm not a fan and I don't make them that often. But with Ramzan going on and Eid coming up, let's change that by making Malpua, an Indian dessert. These are similar to pancakes but soaked in sugar syrup. Like many Indian desserts, even this starts with milk. We are going to make Khova or Koya or Mawa. There are many languages in India. Khova is nothing but milk solids formed after simmering the milk on medium heat for a long time. This Khova is used in many Indian desserts. The only difficult thing in making Khova is you need to stir this continuously until all the milk evaporates. Stir this continuously on medium to high heat, and as the milk thickens, reduce the heat and increase the frequency of stirring. Otherwise all the milk solids are going to burn. It's going to take time, it's not going to happen just like that. You need some patience, I don't know, maybe watch your favorite TV show while you're doing this. I used about 1.5 liters of milk here and it took me about 40 minutes to get this 160 grams of Khova. This stuff is amazing. This is used in numerous Indian desserts. Alternately, you can fasten this process by adding condensed milk. Reduce the milk to 3/4 of its initial quantity and then add the condensed milk. This is about 2 liters of milk and 1 cup of condensed milk. Same as before, keep stirring until all the milk evaporates and you are left with Khova. It cuts down the time but not that much. But it has different texture when compared to the previous Khova. And by the way, this is sweetened condensed milk. So this is sweetened Khova, which is an Indian dessert by itself. There is one more method to make Khova using milk powder and it takes only 10 minutes. But as you can already guess, it's not going to be as good as these two. Also, I couldn't find milk powder at my grocery store, so that's for another day. It's time to make the batter for Malpua now. I'm using a mix of both these Khovas, 160 grams of unsweetened Khova and 40 grams of sweetened Khova. You can use just unsweetened Khova. We are going to soak the Malpuas in the sugar syrup when they're cooked, so you don't need any sweetness in the batter. Mix the Khova so that there are no big lumps. To this 200 grams of Khova, add 100 grams of flour, 70 grams of semolina and 225 grams of water. Whisk the batter thoroughly so that there are no lumps. Add a pinch of salt, just a pinch, to balance out the whole dish. A teaspoon of cardamom powder, a teaspoon of fennel powder and 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda. The consistency of this should be slightly thinner than dosa batter. Whisk thoroughly and set it aside for 30 minutes. In the meantime, make the sugar syrup to soak the malpuas. Equal quantities of sugar and water. Let the sugar dissolve and cook for 8 to 10 minutes after adding few saffron strands, a teaspoon of cardamom powder and a teaspoon of kewra water, and just a dash of lime to prevent the crystallization. Keep it aside and make the malpuas. Ideally, you should fry these in ghee or clarified butter, but I don't have that much ghee and I think even you don't have it, so I'm just using oil. Now, depending on whatever size you want, add the batter to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees oil using a ladle. When you add the batter, it's going to sink to the bottom and it floats when it's cooked. Turn them around and fry these until they get some nice color on both the sides. Let the excess oil drain and soak them in sugar syrup for 15 to 20 minutes and they're good to go. Repeat the same with the rest of the batter and that's it. You can eat them just like that after soaking them in sugar syrup. But traditionally these are served with Rabri, another milk component. The process of making this Rabri is same as Khova. You just have to stop the cooking halfway. This is about 500 milliliters of milk. Reduce the milk to 3/4 of its initial quantity and add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of condensed milk, a teaspoon of rose water, a pinch of cardamom powder and fennel powder. If you don't have condensed milk, you can add some sugar according to your taste. So stop cooking when it reaches your desired consistency and that's it. Bring it all together. Some Rabri on the plate. Let that excess sugar syrup drain. Add some Rabri on top, few almonds and pistachios, and have some edible silver. Top it off with some of that if you have it. And this was really good. I don't know how to express it, but really good. Crispy edges and soft in the middle, absolutely delicious. The only difficult part in this whole recipe is making that Khova. If you are in India, you can buy this from a supermarket. But that's not the case in most of the US. With everything going on right now, I don't think you can find this in India also. So if you don't want to make that Khova and still want to make this Malpua, you can use eggs instead of Khova. Let's do that as well, an easy version of Malpua. I'm filming this after a couple of days. Whisk 2 eggs thoroughly, add 100 grams of flour, 50 grams of semolina, 160 grams of milk. You don't want any lumps in the batter, whisk thoroughly. A pinch of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of fennel powder and cardamom powder. Mix all of it thoroughly and set it aside for 20 to 30 minutes. And same as before, fry them in 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius oil. Drain the excess oil, soak them in sugar syrup, rinse and repeat. Malpua cannot get any easier than this, and it cannot get any tastier than this. You can serve this with rabri, but I'm not going to make it again for this. Serve this with some almonds, cashews or any nuts. I know I said I don't like desserts, and I'm making the same dessert 2 times in 2 days. It's all in the name of science. That's it for today guys. I'll see you next time.